Welcome to the deep dive.
Great to be here.
Today, we're really focusing in on Bitcoin. Lots happening.
Definitely. We're looking at some price surges, some potential regulatory stuff in the UK.
Right. And that U.S. strategic reserve idea, plus, the usual volatility.
Exactly. So the goal is to sort of cut through that noise.
Yep. Figure out what's actually important for you about where Bitcoin might be heading.
These developments give a pretty interesting picture right now.
Okay, so let's start with that price surge. Bitcoin went past $97,000.
Yeah, highest it's been in, what, over 2 months?
And what's pushing it? Is it just general market mood or
Well, a big part seems to be institutional buying picking up.
the bigger players?
Right. More confidence from them. And that kind of lines up with a generally more optimistic economic picture overall.
And we're seeing actual examples, right? Like Morgan Stanley maybe letting clients trade spot crypto directly.
That's the talk, yes.
Yeah.
And you've also got MicroStrategy with that huge, like, $21 billion equity offering.
Wow. Okay. That's not small change. That definitely signals some serious belief.
It really does. It sends a pretty strong message. And analysts are saying, if it can break $100,000 convincingly,
Then we can see new all-time highs.
that's the potential they're pointing to, uncharted territory, basically.
Okay, interesting. But then there's regulation. The UK's FCA.
Right, the Financial Conduct Authority.
They're planning to stop retail folks, regular investors, from using credit cards, borrowed money, for crypto
That's the plan. And the thinking behind it is, well, mainly consumer protection.
because it's so volatile.
Exactly. Crypto swings wildly, and if people are borrowing to invest, the risk just gets amplified, It looks a bit like gambling to them.
Makes sense. So that could really change things for UK traders.
Oh, definitely. Could impact volumes and maybe even influence what other countries consider doing.
It's a more cautious approach.
Yeah.
Now, switching gears a bit, this U.S. strategic Bitcoin reserve,
Yeah. From that executive order.
and it's not just Bitcoin, right? It includes Solana, Cardano, XRP, Ethereum too.
Correct. A basket of major digital assets.
So what's the goal there? Why would the U.S. government want a stash of crypto?
Well, the stated aim is really to position the U.S. as a leader in this whole digital asset space.
Okay, like showing they're serious about it.
Kind of. By holding these assets, it signals a commitment. And the hope is that might encourage more institutions to get involved.
Boosting adoption long term.
That seems to be the idea, even though the market didn't, immediately jump on the news.
Right. The reaction was a bit quiet initially.
It raises questions, too, like how will they keep it secure? How will they use it strategically? But it's a significant step.
Having digital assets on the national balance sheet, essentially. But of course, Bitcoin. It doesn't just go up.
No, far from it.
We saw that dip recently, didn't we? Below $84,000. Wiped out the week's gains.
Yeah, that volatility is always there. It just highlights that these big swings, they're still very much part of the market.
Just the nature of the beast right now.
Pretty much. Those corrections happen fast. So the key levels people are watching are still around, say, $85,000 for support.
And that $100,000 mark is resistance.
Exactly. Those are kind of the guardrails for now, indicating where the price might struggle or find footing.
Okay, so if we pull back for a second, the big picture is institutions are getting more interested, pushing prices up.
Yep, that's a clear trend.
But regulators, like in the UK, are getting wary, especially about people borrowing to invest.
A definite move towards caution there, yeah.
Then you have the U.S. making a strategic play, building a reserve of digital assets.
Signaling long-term interest, potentially driving more big players in.
And underlying all of it is this constant, significant price volatility, and up and down swings are normal.
Precisely. Those are really the key forces interacting right now, shaping where Bitcoin goes next.
So thinking about all that for you, the listener, you've got the institutional pull, the regulatory pushback, this strategic government move, and the market's wild nature. What do you think is the biggest opportunity here, or maybe the biggest risk looking ahead for digital assets?
Yeah, it's a lot to weigh up, a really complex picture.
It certainly is. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.